Such positive vibes today.
Such positive vibes. You know, it's ironic, Zach, because we have some positive vibes going on, but I'm actually very angry right now. I don't know if you can tell.
Wait, why are you angry?
I'm super angry. Can you tell, Zach? Can you tell that I'm angry? Like that I'm radiating that I'm radiating negative energy right now? Can you tell I'm angry?
No.
No, are you sure? But from my menacing face and my deep, brawly, manly voice, that I'm angry?
Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome everybody on Education Station. I'm Arthur, of course, and I'm with Zach, as always. Beats by Logic today. I still listen to Logic every now and then. Do I like his newer stuff? I think they're okay. But as a OG Logic fan, having Logic on the show makes me happy. And before we get copyright claim. But this is from his beat pack, you know?
Yeah, in theory, it should be like...
In theory.
We'll see, I guess.
We'll see. But why am I angry, Zach? Thank you for asking. So...
Why are you angry?
Thank you, random viewer. So, I will get into that in a bit, but remind me, because I don't want to start the show with these angry, negative vibes, because that's no fun, Zach. How have you been this week? I feel like we missed the Wednesday shoot, but that's honestly because we were gonna plan something this Sunday. But sometimes when we plan something on Sunday, we shoot on Wednesday anyways. But I totally forgot to even bring it up. So I was like, okay, we'll take Wednesday off.
Yeah.
So how goes the week in general?
It's been all right. So we did our Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. And so basically we had a whole bunch of people come in from out of town. And we just did it early because my aunt, my godmother, she came down for a couple days, and so we just decided to kind of plan it around when she was in town, because she lives up in like north of Spokane. And so it's a little bit hard to plan that kind of stuff with her, because she usually drives down, and that's like an 8-hour drive.
Right.
So it was really good. It was a lot of fun. It's nice to be a part of the family chaos, but like be an adult during all of that, you know, because like I'm so used to my family being so chaotic and so many things happening all the time that now I just kind of like don't really care anymore. And so
This kind of happens now.
Whatever. Now I can just sit and laugh at it, which is really fun. But yeah, that was really cool. Being able to see a whole bunch of people who I haven't seen in a bit has been really cool. And so nothing really too crazy has been going on. Just doing me.
Yeah, just doing you. That's good.
How have you been?
Thank you for asking, Zach. No.
Thank you for asking, disembodied voice.
Thank you. So the week, you know, I've been doing. Oh, I thought it was a motorcycle. I don't know. Speaking of which, Zach, man, these damn kids, Zach. These damn kids. I've noticed that I'm not sure what it is exactly. This has nothing to do with why I'm angry, but I am upset about this in general. Just the other night, this happened, but in general, I was wondering, kids don't really exist in this neighborhood anymore. At least in my headcanon.
Right.
Because in my headcanon, all the kids were my age and we're all older now. And the only reason why there would be more kids is if people moved in.
Right.
Like into new homes.
Yeah.
Or more adults had more kids, but otherwise the influx of kids within this neighborhood decreased in general, like overall, you know what I mean? In my headcanon. My head.
Right.
You know? Because I just associated all the kids to be around my age, give or take 5 years. So I was very surprised during Halloween when this episode goes up in like November or December. I don't know.
God, I hope this doesn't go up in December.
Bro, we had so many damn kids for trick-or-treating. So I was like, wow, look at that. And frankly, a lot of them were a lot older. But in general, there's a lot of kids. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Or so I thought, Zach. And then I realized that I hate these fucking kids.
Kids these days.
No, Zach. So I don't have a problem with, like, you know, kids being kids.
Right.
Going outside. Of course I have no problem with kids going outside. That's a good thing, Zach.
You're like, I don't want them to end up like me.
Well, what I have a problem with is when it's 9-10 p.m. in the evening, in the night, and they're still outside, and they're playing basketball, and they're really loud.
Yeah.
Have I showed my age yet, Zach? I knew to go inside at least at that point. It's pitch black as shit. I mean, unless like you're going to like the park or something, then sure, you be loud as what you want, you know?
Yeah.
Or something like that. But when you're out in it's right there, Zach. Just right there, Zach. I mean, there is a hoop there. I mean, if they want to use my hoop, I don't care if they want to use my hoop. It's whatever, you know? But why are they're like screaming? Why are they screaming, Zach?
Why are they awake?
Why are well, I mean, I was awake then, but why are they screaming? Like guttural screaming, Zach. And this room in here, like usually it's probably not too bad, but this room, because of my AC unit, that window is open.
Right.
I mean, I have the little foam insulation things as the buffer, but that's not like 100%.
Right.
The window is technically still open. So I can hear that shit, Zach, and they're really loud. I have my headphones and my IEMs, and you know, I'm editing or streaming or listening to music or whatever, but they're still there. And sometimes I don't even have them on. Now that I've been living speaker life, sometimes I just have the speaker on. I just do what I need to do, Zach.
Bro, speaker life is so nice.
Speaker life is nice. I've been thinking about getting I've been using like a sound bar, like an Anchor Bluetooth sounds bar, and it just works and it's fine. I do want to get something stereo though in the future, something cheap or something. I don't know. I'm losing my point, Zach.
These
damn kids, Zach, they're so loud. But last night, Zach, okay? I swear to God, I swear to God, Zach, those kids were fucking like doing some hellacious shit.
Some like demonic ritual type shit.
No, Zach, listen here. Maybe hellacious is not the right word, but in my mind, it was hellacious. I think they were up to no good, Zach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were doing some hooligan shit, you know? Some hood rat shit.
Not even the good hooligan
Not
shit.
even the good hooligan shit, Zach. The hood rat shit. So I don't know the details. So I'm picturing this in my head as I'm hearing this, right? So there's a car very close. Like it's probably on the street. It's probably across the street. Or in that vicinity. Nobody knows this because they don't know my road, but it's basically just outside my window, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere along the lines, give or take a couple 20, 30 feet. And they're laughing and screaming, you know, doing things that kids do, which is apparently scream at the bottom of their lungs, you know? It's kids doing kids thing. And at this point, I realize these are like middle school, like high elementary school to mid-ish middle school, to my understanding of these kids. Maybe some like freshmen or so. But that's kind of the age range, kind of like upper, like maybe 4th grade to 7th grade, I would say. And I guess maybe I was running around screaming during then. I don't know. I feel like I was more reserved and playing my Game Boy, but that's just me. And there's this car outside, and it's, you know, it's on. Like I can hear it. It's on. You know, it's doing their thing, and they're screaming and shouting, and then all of a sudden they're okay. There's there's screaming like really loud, and you can just differentiate that in 2 ways. One is like screaming from fun and laughter, and one is from horror.
Yeah.
Zach, I heard this horror scream, and I became concerned. And then I heard footsteps, like running footsteps. Ah! And then I hear, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is someone running over these kids? That's my job. What's happening? What is happening?
Am I just missing out on free points right now?
I become concerned. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I forget I have this camera, but I didn't check the camera. I would check my Ring doorbell, but that didn't get that. But I didn't see anything, so I assumed it was more towards this way.
Right.
Because my camera is closer to that way. Audio listeners don't know where the fuck I'm talking about. But don't worry, because I don't either, because I didn't see it. But just know that this is what I heard, right? Ha 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 ha. Ah! I'm like, what? What is happening?
Bro, are we about to be on an episode of Dateline?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? What is happening? I have no clue what's happening. And then it stops and it's silent. And I'm like, oh God. And then that was it.
So you never got any context?
No,
nothing.
not at all. All I know is that some horror movie type shit happened.
Fun.
Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's just a coincidence. But what I think is because I know these kids are little shits. They're probably like playing too close to like some guy's nice car or something, or whatever, and probably doing kid shit like nice car, that type of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And then he probably scared them or something, like just kind of rev the gas really loud or something.
Yeah.
And then drove off. Oh, I should mention also, but I also heard like he peeled.
That's sketchy.
Yeah, right.
I don't. Yeah.
You know what I mean? This was last night, Zach. Last night.
What the fuck?
I'm concerned, Zach. Maybe for these kids, I'm not sure, but I hate these kids, so I'm torn. I'm torn to how I should feel, Zach.
As much as I feel for these kids, like,
which is not at all.
Like, as much as I'm concerned about the well-being of other people, fuck those kids.
Yes, so I'm conflicted, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's fine. Otherwise, I would have heard something by now.
Or at least like police sirens or something.
There was police sirens, but it was off in the distance. But that added more to my panic.
Dude, I hate that.
I was like, oh God, are they what happened? Should I check? Should I go outside? Part of me did want to go outside. Because like I'm doing a bad job recreating it, but it actually sounded like genuinely concerning.
Yeah.
But what would I do? Go out? Hey, what's going on? and then I go Super Saiyan and I beat the bad guys. What am I?
I don't know. Get a car description or something like that.
I guess that's true, but it'd be dark as shit. I wouldn't be able to see. Well, maybe just like a little bit. I guess what the car looked like, but not. I also don't know my cars, so it'd be like, oh, what was the car? I don't fucking know. It was like red.
It was like red and shaped like a car.
Maybe it was a Toyota. Maybe it was a Tesla. I don't know these things.
Yeah, I've had a couple of situations like that happen where it's just been really sketchy. Mm-hmm. And like, dude, I have had a whole lot of random situations like that happen, like to me, where I'll have some random person parked outside my door or like right out on the street, and they'll just be sitting there with their car running for like an hour. And I mean, my first thought was, oh, they're here to see the neighbors or whatever. Literally, I watched my neighbors get in their car and leave, and it was like a van. The van stayed there. It wasn't like a hey, free candy and like gross moldy mattress type van. It was like
just a van.
Yeah. It was like a I don't know, like a caravan. Like just
sure.
Like a minivan. And so I was home by myself. Didn't know what the hell was going on. I was looking out the window and I could see them, and they were sitting just like on their phone, just and I called my parents and I was like, hey, are you guys expecting anyone to be by the house today? And they're like, no. I was like, interesting. And so I was like, should I call anybody? And they were like, just wait it out for a little bit. If they try to come to the door, then call the cops, or like then figure out what's going on. And nothing really came of it, but it's just like that really weird, like, something's not right.
Oh yeah. It's like this sixth sense. Would you call it sixth sense, or it's just so much consuming of media and stories and experiences and other people's experiences, all up to leading to this point where you realize this is not right. Something is not right.
So there are a lot of stories of me being in situations that I probably shouldn't have been, and I'm sure I told you a lot of them. And there was one where someone tried to abduct Kevin and I when I was a kid. So basically, I mean, I could tell this whole story if you want me to.
Yeah, if you'd like to, if that's okay.
Okay, so for some context.
Or is that something you want to wait for him to come on the show for?
No, there's way more. Like, I feel like
it's a whole thing.
So yeah, there's.
Or do you want to give a synopsis and then we can wait for it?
I don't think this story is as crazy as some of the other ones that we're gonna tell you.
Okay.
And I hope you know that this is like when Kevin, my brother, comes on. It's going to be a lot of us going back and forth. And like I know when Cameron came on,
Oh,
it was
that's
a lot.
fine. Don't worry, Zach. I'm a professional interviewer, as you can tell. I'm able to
Very professional.
I can insert myself in ways I need to and ask the leading questions. Zach, I took communication classes. I don't know if you can tell, Zach.
Okay. Anyway,
Can you tell?
Yes.
Can you tell as I'm fixing my microphone?
Can you tell?
Anyways. Sure.
So I guess to give a little bit of context, my neighborhood, so I have like my neighborhood and then a main road, and then there are a bunch of different adjacent neighborhoods that are around.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the neighborhoods that's over there, it's just like a really long straight road,
Mm-hmm.
and there are like houses on either side, and then there's like this little I don't know if it's like a wildlife reserve type thing, but it just goes down a dirt hill, and then there's just like forest for a bit. And so we ended up finding that place one day, and we were just kind of exploring around, whatever. And then we found out that there was another hill going up, which led into another housing development. And so we ended up going up the hill, just kind of looking around. And, it was a lot of, I guess, more rural homes, like a lot of property, a lot of barns, all of that kind of stuff. And so, we were just meandering along, looking around. And we ended up seeing one of the houses, and it looked like it was not well maintained at all, and like it had like an old 90s F-150 Ford F-150 pickup truck just sitting with like a whole bunch of metal and like chains and all that kind of stuff. The garage door was open, and it was just filled to the brim with shit. And there was this person, there was this guy who was sitting outside smoking a cigarette with his dog. And basically, he approached us. It was like, "Hey, do you guys mind helping me move my truck into the garage? It's not running. I need to get it into the garage." And we were like, "No." And he was like, "Come on, I'll give you guys some money. I'll pay you." And we were like 12, 13 at the time.
Right.
And so Kevin, bless his soul, he caught on to it before I did. And he was like, "Actually, you know what? I think my parents are calling us. So we better get back home." And basically he started chasing us in the direction towards like that little forest area, towards that hill.
Like a run or just kind of he's following you?
No, he was like running. And then he ended up, so he had, I think it was like a German Shepherd or like a big breed dog. And I remember seeing this because like I was running, and then I turned around and I watched him like let go of the leash, and the dog started chasing us too. And so I was so I was leading the pack, because I ain't afraid of no ghosts. I'm running. I'm running like my life depends on it, because it does. And basically Kevin was in the back being a good brother, and the dog ended up grabbing onto his pants and like wouldn't let go of him. He ended up having to basically like karate kick this dog to get it to let go. And then we ended up sprinting the entire way, all the way back to my house, which, at that point was probably like a mile away. And when we got back to my house, we were talking to my dad about it, and basically, this, but for those of you who don't know, my dad is a retired police officer, and most recently he worked for the Department of Veterinary Affairs, so he worked for the government. and it was really handy because he was able to like, he had a lot of access to like criminal records, all those types of things. And so we drove by that house in the car. He wrote down like the address of the house, you know, the license plate on the truck. And it turned out that he had been arrested and was on bail for abducting a child and like was on the sex offender registry. And so I that was one of those situations where I can't imagine that being anything other than malicious.
Right.
You know, because
No, there's no way. There's too many. Too many. How do I say? Dots, I guess, that are connected in this scenario, and it also doesn't help that he just told his dog sick him. That doesn't help anybody, right?
Yeah.
If it was something, I can see this being a scenario, right, where maybe. You know, I feel like I remember having this talk with Jamie. I remember this, where we had this talk about if you were in jail and you were to, whether you get bailed or you just leave jail, how does one define a changed person, right?
Right.
So I can see a debate of it being like, what if this guy, I mean, he was in jail, so maybe he just in general looks shady, you know, and just because of human intuition, that just doesn't look like a good person. But in our experiences, sometimes the raunchiest, meanest looking people are the nicest people in the world, right?
Right.
So it's hard to find this differentiating way to, you know, you can't just say that guy's a bad guy. There's no way for that. And maybe, you know, this is, so your guys are 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
Around this time, I like to imagine, like this is 2012, 2013, right? Trust in like, helping human beings is way more than it is now when it's don't trust anybody. Right? And language and words mean different things back then versus now. And I don't mean like we use different language, but we use the same language. But now that same language and same tonal voice means a lot less than what it would be now, because now we're too conscious, even kids are too conscious of what we say these days. Hence why the snowflake generation of why people are so fragile. Right. Because we take a lot of things into consideration. Good thing or bad thing? Well, perhaps this example is a good thing, or this example proves that is being cautious is a good thing, because your brother saw it coming, and that's good. For a 13, 14-year-old kid, probably 7, 8 out of 10 times probably wouldn't, because that takes a lot of connecting the dots early on. That takes a lot of thinking. That takes a lot of experience that a kid doesn't experience unless maybe he sees these things, like watch a lot of movies or something like that, which is a good thing. This is why these movies that are about bad stuff need to exist, so we can recognize these things, right? Right. So, but back to this kind of point I was talking about, what if that guy was a good guy? What if his truck was fucked, bars, and he really needed to get it in? And he'd been asking a bunch of people walking by, hey, can you help me with my truck? Like, hell no. And then this is like the end of the day now, and nobody's had helped him, and now he's sad.
Yeah.
But
he let his dog.
He said, sick him. And then that doesn't help, Zach.
Yeah. Yeah. If he wanted to seem like a good person, I don't think letting the dog come and chase us and attack us is a good. It's not a good.
That's not a good optic, Zach. That's not. That doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help him.
Yeah. So that was the thing.
Yeah.
And I want to call, like, I would say that this is the start of the saga of fucked shit, basically. And you know, we'll dive more into this in the next episode, which I'm really excited for you guys to see, because it'll be really, really cool.
By the way, I don't think we mentioned this. Kevin is his brother.
I did mention that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the era of fucked shit. That's like the only way that I can describe it, because we were in the wrong place at the wrong time on so many different occasions that it just kind of was like, it was a lot. Like, it, you know, I've been like detained. I've never been arrested, but like I've been detained. I've been put in the back of a cop car. Which, by the way, this was before I turned 18. And, you know, there have been a whole lot of different situations where I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Sure.
Or just hanging out with the wrong people. That put me in a situation where I was like, no, I'm not going to put your backpack that's full of drugs in my car. Like, no.
No, that's a bit much.
If you would have asked me,
John.
Yeah, fucking John.
Fucking John.
if
this
you're
is not someone that we know named John. This is a hypothetical John.
And if you're watching this right now and your name is John, God damn it, John.
God damn it, John.
The fuck. But yeah, it you know, I ended up being around a bunch of really shady people who are doing a bunch of really shady things. And you know, with the power of hindsight, and now that I've gotten older, it is really nice to just kind of look at that and think about how much I learned from it, and being able to look at it from the lens of, wow, I'm never doing that again. Now I know I'm never going to do that again.
Well, that's why I believe in trial and error. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say, okay, kids, go do that and find out that it's bad and then come back and realize that, no, that's not...
Go do drugs. It'll be fun.
And then you realize it's bad and then you'll stop. No, but what I'm saying is, even for me, right, as a relatively... who lived in a relatively... what's the word I'm looking for? Not restricted. It's not the right word, but...
protected.
I wouldn't say protected. I just didn't necessarily was very outgoing as far as meeting and experiencing with other people, right?
Yeah.
I was very reserved. That's the word I'm looking for.
There
reserved.
we go.
And part of that had to do with I'd rather be home playing my Game Boy and DS, you know, sure, right? But in general, I mean, believe it or not, I know it's crazy to hear, but I had friends in high school, and I know people in high school, and even no matter what situation, whatever life situation you're in, you'll always find yourself in a bad moment. It just happens. It's just how growing up is, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, whether you're the reason for it, whether you're not the reason for it, you'll be there. So you'll experience it. So that's what I mean by trial and error. It's not avoided, because you can't avoid it. You'll be there at some point in time.
Right.
Some a larger scale than others, but you'll experience that uncomfortable position where you realize you have to, this yes or no is going to make or break your entire rest of your experience. There's going to be a climax, Zach.
Yeah.
And this yes or no is going to be the climax. And then what results after is depending on the decision that you make.
Right.
And that's not something that I'm going to tell someone to go experience and go find, because I mean, sure, you're going to find it, but you also might find a hole in your skull.
Yeah. With a bullet.
I understand that, Zach. That's what I was alluding to.
Yeah. You know, I don't really talk about a lot of my high school experience outside of like music stuff, because the music stuff was like basically the only positive thing that happened.
Right.
Just because of a whole lot of different things, and you know, I don't want to make Kevin sound like he's the villain of all of this, like, you know, he is the reason why I was doing all this stuff, but like, you know,
I mean, we'll have him on and we talk about it.
Right. But like, you know, what I was doing with him, just kind of following him around, doing whatever, you know, that's essentially what he was doing with other people. And so it ended up kind of being this domino effect of him being in a situation that he wasn't necessarily expecting to be in. And then I'm there and he's like, oh, fuck, you know, like, and it's not his fault. Some of it was his fault, but like, you know, there were certain situations where at the end of it, he was like, I'm sorry. That was like way beyond what I was expecting it to be.
Right. Okay.
And like, you know, him getting shot at and me being chased by police. Not by police, by some random guy with a gun and PTSD. Yeah. That's a fun story. I'm not gonna tell.
Okay, that's okay. I got you. Well, then he better get on then.
I know. I'll see if he can get on Wednesday. But
hopefully,
yeah, it's definitely really fascinating to look at a lot of that stuff with the hindsight of being an adult now. And I mean, even looking at the way that you lived your life previously as opposed to now, it's like, oh, wow, all of my problems were not that big of a deal. But yeah, it's really fun when I look back and I think about, like, you know, there were all of these trials and tribulations that I've gone throughout my life, and you know, there are so many things that I've had to deal with throughout my life that, like, you know, we as people, and
we the people.
No, we, and I'm including you on this too. You're way more resilient than you think you are, and I think we put limitations on ourselves in our own capabilities, because, you know, there's like this standard of like how people think it should be, or like how far we think the human body and mind is capable of going. And then there are people who are willing to put in the time and effort to exceed that, which is amazing. It's really cool. And, you know, obviously it's like, don't go out and do illegal things just to push yourself to the limit. Don't do that.
Don't do that. That's not a good thing. That's not a good optic.
No. Bad news bears. But yeah, it definitely, it makes me feel a little bit better about all of that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And, you know, I realize this, you know, the reason why I have a beard and I'm covered in tattoos and, you know, I have long hair is like, I've basically tried to make like a physical representation of the separation that I've had from that. You know, like I look like an entirely different person than I did 6 years ago. And like, I still have my ID photo from when I was 16. And every time anybody looks at it, they're like, whoa.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah. Even from like, I mean, you know, I get recommended your videos, Zach, on the Uneducation Station channel.
Hell yeah.
Whenever I'm there, I'm like, who's this kid?
Who the fuck is this guy?
No, I agree with that. It's, I mean, I don't want to say, it's cliche to say this because this is like an anime thing where some particular event happens and that causes you to change, you know, your life and such, and then you change your appearance. Usually in anime and like romance, for example, it's like a breakup or something like that. The girls would cut their hair short. Whether that's true in Japanese culture, I don't know, but it's an anime, so who knows? You know, things like that, right? Usually it's the hair. It seems to always be cut your hair. I don't know why. But it seems, you know, that type of idea where you just kind of, you have that life moment and then you change the way you look. And I mean, that metaphorically is kind of like you change you change who you are because you've always had this, right? But now you're this. So drastically, right? Like in one fell swoop. All right, cut the whole shit off. Huh? Barbara's like, huh?
Why do you have lawn shears?
I've been no, it's the oh, I guess I don't know what this hand is for. He's holding the razor and scissors.
Just grabbing a fistful of hair, just like
it's like, are you sure, dog? I've been giving you a hide fade for 20 years.
They're like, bro, are you okay?
Yeah, things like that. But yeah, that was a good story. Good job, Zach. That was good. That was a good segment. I'll applaud for that.
You know, honestly, it's funny that
Zach's Corner.
Yeah. It's funny that you bring up my YouTube channel and all that kind of stuff, because I was just kind of going back on a nostalgia trip. I was going off of the momentum of all the uned clips and everything like that. And I was watching some of my older videos, and you know, the reason why I started my YouTube channel in the first place was because I wanted to sit and tell stories. Because like, if there's one thing that I have put a lot of effort into, it's my storytelling. And you know, I learned from my oldest brother, who is like a very, very charismatic, very outgoing person, and I'm the complete opposite of that. And so like,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say complete opposite.
But
I'm the complete opposite. I don't leave my house, Zach.
Motherfuckers are crazy.
Motherfuckers are crazy. Motherfuckers.
My motherfuckers?
1 out of 2 people in this room are motherfuckers. I'm not a motherfucker.
That's such a funny clip.
Top 10 things I've ever said in my life, Zach. I'm not one. That's you, Zach.
Are you a motherfucker? 2 out of 3. He's not a motherfucker. I'm a motherfucker. Are you a motherfucker?
And it's me. I'm motherfuckers. Wait a minute.
We do be motherfuckers. But, God, what was I talking about? Oh, storytelling.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I think you should do again. Now that you had a feel for this uneducation station highlights type of vibe, which, by the way, again, thank you for doing. I appreciate that. And if you'd ever like to continue doing it, please do. And then also, I mean, maybe we can even put it on this channel. Or maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. But in general, now that you're on this you just put your first video, you had your little commentary in the beginning too. So you had this kind of vibe of making videos again. And now you kind of like editing and stuff. I think story time videos, it would be fun to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they're relatively simple in the sense that you just kind of talk your talk and then you cut it up as much as you need to. But it'd be cool to see, you do a story time video now and then you compare it to a story time video that you did before.
Right.
Because I always feel nostalgic. I just recently, I don't know, did I even mention this? I made a Twitter for my editing stuff. Did I say this?
I think you brought it up just kind of offhand at
okay.
one point.
Well, I did, right? And this is kind of follows in the same vibe where it's like, I put in my old 12 terabyte external hard drive that has all the backups and everything that I've ever owned in a computer since I first got one, which is incredible. And I was just like, it has all my edits since I first started, all the way 2016. Some have been lost in the grapevine. I don't know where they went, but they're gone. But I have basically all of them, and I just made a Twitter called @Anuki Edits. I know, classic. The bio is just Hood Classics because it is Hood Classics. And I don't link it to my normal Twitter because I'm just like, this is just separate. If you want to see it, you can see it. And it's been garnishing a lot of love, and I appreciate that, even from my editor friends, and even from my higher octane editor friends. Of which case, thank you. Didn't know you'd even see it, but thank you. But I made this Twitter, and I just kind of post like little snippets, like 5 to 10 second max of just edits from recent edits to like 2016.
Yeah.
And it is very jarring to see just a mix match of so many things. Also edits I never put out, some that I've scrapped, things like that. And it's just cool to see the difference. And there was one where I made the direct comparison, which is my favorite comparison personally. But nobody knows about it because I wasn't really big yet. 2017 and 18, with one edit called Kurokushi, and then the second one called Kurokushi 2. I know, crazy concept.
Oh, wow.
And I think I've told the story, maybe not here, but in another one. So Kurokushi, which is a very sad term. It means to die alone. I know, but that's what the song was called, and I didn't know that. I was 17. I didn't even watch anime yet. And that's funny, Zach. Well, I mean, I did watch anime, but I was a closet weeb, right? I was pretending to hate on weebs, but not hate on weebs, but I was just like kind of distancing myself from that stigma, right?
The weeb culture.
Yes. Because I wasn't ready to embrace it yet in 2017. Right. And literally in the beginning of the song, in the beginning of the song, it says, Tanoshimi ni shiteru ze. I don't know what that means. So when that comes on, I put text saying some anime shit. Translated in Google Translate, some anime shit. I don't know. It's just some anime shit. And then the song proceeds on because that's like the audio bite they used.
Right.
And the fun part is that this edit was for a team called Team Vatican. I do not remember how I was introduced to them, or I'm for sure they just asked me as a client, and I probably just did that edit for them, and which was cool. I did a whole team tage for them. It was a lot of fun. I got to use this kind of weeby-ish song that I've never used before. This is kind of around the time where I never really used. Well, I used this type of like it's how do I call it? Like a future-based type of song, type of vibe, that can be associated with anime, but not really because anime isn't a genre of music. I know, shocker. But anime type of vibe, if you know what I mean. Anyways, use that song. It was a lot of fun. It was really good, and I like that edit a lot. Come a year later, Zach, a whole year later, like almost exactly a year later, I get hit up again. Like, hey, I believe this is author who now goes by Hyako, and if you're watching this, shout out to you. Hey, I built him a keyboard. And he goes, hey, Anuki, I'm starting a team called, what the fuck was it called? I don't remember it now. Oh God, bad friend. But it was a team. It was a new team. It was Sora, I'm pretty sure.
How dare you?
Okay, so no, it wasn't Sora. It was a different one. but I'm starting a team, and I'm going to. Wait, was it that? Fuck, I don't remember. But okay, I don't know if it was specifically that team. Okay, I'm losing that story. I apologize. Let me bring it back. A year later, right? It's 2018, almost exactly a year later, I get hit up by this person who used to be in Team Vatican, which was the team that I did the Team Taj for in 2017, Korokushi. And then he goes, "Hey, I'm starting a team. You want to just like kind of hang out or whatever? You know, I'm a big fan of you, and you did an edit for us a long time ago, and the team was comprised of a bunch of people from that team, Team Vatican. This Team X that I'm forgetting. I'm losing my my memory on what it was. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll just go in your. Usually it's just like Twitter chats, and you just kind of go in and chat, chill, even if you're not in the team.
Yeah.
This was a culture that existed, and I don't like this culture for various reasons, but that's besides the point. You know, I was just chat chilling, just vibing out. They're doing their team stuff, and they're doing a team Taj. I'm like, hey, Anuki, would you like to do the team Taj? Because I'm here. I'm like, you know what? Sure, why not? I'm cool with all these Vatican people. I did a team Taj for them a year ago. Let's go again. Let's dance again. And I dance again, Zach. And I find Kurokushi, the song, the same person who made it, which was Mika, the same producer, made a second version of it called Kurokushi VIP.
That's cool. It's
the same song, Zach, but a different version of it called the VIP version. And I'm like, dude, this would be perfect. And a team full of of Team Vatican people from a year ago are in this team, and I'm cool with them. So let's dance again. I didn't tell them this, and I don't know if they even know this because it's something more personal to me. But I was like, this is cool. Let's do this kind of part 2 type of vibe, and then we can do this kind of comparison thing a year later. And a year later, I did. I shoot a random shot at Mika's Twitter and say, hey, in the beginning of the song, you mentioned this phrase "Tanoshimi ni shiteru." What anime is that from? And he responds.
Like a boss?
Like a boss. And he responds, and this is around the time where thank God, you can open DMs exist, so you don't have to follow them, or they don't have to follow back.
Right.
You can just send a DM. Thank God. And he goes, this. And he sends me Danmachi, which is a very popular anime. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? I don't know. Weird titles, Zach, but you know how weird titles go. Word titles
they're always good.
They're always good. So and then I proceed to watch it because I was like, oh, it's this show. I remember this show being cool, and I watched it and it was great. Anyways. Of all things, he's like, Danmachi, he puts me a YouTube link to the full episode in English sub. Like, what the fuck? A YouTube link? So it probably just shot down by now, but it's really funny. And yeah, I scrubbed through, or he shows me the timestamp too of where it is, and it's a whole scene where he's showing this girl who is his goddess or whatever. It makes no sense unless you watch the show, but Belle, he shows his goddess, the Hestia, like this cool view or whatever. You can see it. I put the whole scene like in the beginning of the episode.
I remember this.
Okay, so now you remember the episode, or you remember the edit. I put the whole scene. It was this anime scene. Like, what the fuck? You put this anime scene? It was Sora. It was Sora, Zach. It was Sora because this was for the Hinode Team Taj, and it was that. I put that scene and the whole damn scene. And the end of the scene, she says the phrase "Tanoshimi ni shiteru," which I believe means I'm looking forward to it. And then the edit comes on, and I use basically the same exact cinematics, but re-recorded, that I did in the Team Vatican episode a year ago, and it's the same thing. And I was like, "This is awesome! I love this." And it doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, and it doesn't need to mean a lot to a lot of people. But to me, it meant a lot because it was this cool idea, and it was a way to just see my progression from one year to another year. Because a lot of people will say, if they're Nuki fans, if you're out there, shout out. My change in editing from 2017 to 2018 was incredible. Like it was nuts because I had learned a lot.
Right.
And I experienced a lot.
You know, I feel like I remember this because I think I found your YouTube channel around early 2018. And so I ended up going back and watching all your edits and stuff. Quality content, by the way.
TY.
And I remember just every single time you posted in 2018, you were just like raising the bar more and more, and you know, you were in the midst of like your editing career basically.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was weird.
You could inhale and then die. Like, whoa, oh my god.
That was weird. My my brain, or like my body.
You were just flabbergasted, Zach.
No, but every single time you posted, you were raising the bar more and more. And you know, this was the first time that I had seen Call of Duty edits in years, probably since, you know, like the MW2, MW3 days, probably. Sure. And so just seeing all this stuff and seeing you progress so much, you know, that was super, super cool for me to see, because I've known you for so long, and like I know you're definitely one of those people that if you set your mind to something, then you'll make it happen somehow, and it'll always exceed at least my expectations. I don't know, and like you know, it was definitely just like a hint of things to come, which was really, really cool. And I think I started posting on my channel around this time too, early 2017-ish. And then, you know, it was kind of funny because I think back and I probably was asking you about editing stuff.
Maybe, yeah, probably. A lot of people do that.
I don't remember.
I mean, I don't know.
This was like 5 years ago. But yeah, that was super cool to see.
Yeah, if you want to, shameless plug, since we're doing this now, and you feel free to do it for yourself as well. I mean, we got the YouTube handles, which is cool. I always had because before YouTube this kind of already existed, but it was called the creator handle, I think is what it's called, or creator URL, creative, I don't know, something like that, where you reach some sort of threshold. I don't know what it is, like a subscriber threshold or something like that, or you just, I don't know what it is. And then you get validated to get your own YouTube URL. So mine, of course, I snagged youtube.com/Anuki. Luckily, I did that pretty early. And I mean, I don't know if, well, actually, there's a lot of just Anuki. Anuki seems to be some sort of like a Indonesian, not Malaysia, sorry. So that kind of word, I don't know. It's a term of some sort. But I'm glad I snagged that. And it just ended up reverting to the handle with this new YouTube handle thing.
Yeah.
Uned got it super late, but luckily we got an Uned podcast, which is cool. And you probably have yours.
Yeah, I do have Zach PNW.
Zach PNW.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, shameless plugging. Which, since we've said our handles, you should check it out. And also, Uned podcast is now our handle for here. Yeah. Anyways, I have a video called "The First and Last Edit of Every Year."
I remember this.
I do not remember when this was. I think it was 2020, I want to say. Maybe. I want to say 2020, or maybe 2019. I do not remember. But it's what it sounds like. It's the first and the last edit of every year. In 2016, the first edit I did in 2016, and the last edit I did in 2016. The first edit I did in 2017, the last edit I did in 2017. And you get the gist. Yeah. And this is why I bring up that the change from 2017 to 2018 was like a different person. Because I just imagine it simply just the bell curve of learning. 2016, 2017 was me right here just figuring it out. And then I learned so much as 2018 hits, and we hump at 2018, 2019. And then we kind of smooth it out as I kind of proceed to continue self-learning. But that arc of learning is already just kind of extinguished at this point. And now it's just, I already know, you know? Yeah. And that's where I am, 2018 to 2019, 20. So it's a cool video. I had a lot of fun making it. And if you're interested in my edits at all, I also explain the edits, like I talk about in the description or the comments. I don't remember what I did, but like the edits, what happened in the edits, some fun facts about the edits, some moments about the edits, things like that. So it's pretty cool. It's a long video. And it's probably one of my favorite videos I produce. I think it was 2019, I want to say. So pretty early on, but I really like that. I would like to continue doing it, but I don't edit a lot, so it wouldn't be very much of a stark difference between 2020 to 2022. But it exists, so that's a cool video. But yeah, I think, Zach, that you should do more. You should give a shot. Do a story time video. Find some time to set up a tripod and maybe even the same background. That'd be pretty funny. Or maybe not. Well, that same backdrop you did before probably looks different now, huh?
Yeah, it looks a lot different.
Yeah, like literally. But what you should do, Zach, is put the tripod in that same spot and sit in the same spot, unless it's like obstructed. But now just have that different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool. And then you just do a story time video like you always do.
Yeah.
And then edit it. Do what you need to do. Whether it's a simple edit, quick edit, or some over edited bullshit, whatever you need to do. Have fun with Premiere Pro. You don't need to tell me that. Have fun. And then just kind of look back and see and compare. That's the fun stuff. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy it. We've talked about this before. You think you've created peak content. You look at it a year later, you're like, what the fuck was this?
Yeah. I'm
peak content. And then year later, oh, what the fuck was that? Now I'm peak content. And then this continues on. Because there is no such thing as peak content. It's just like this.
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess things can nosedive. But that depends on your creative ability.
Yeah. That ends up being more of like on your end, you know? It's like,
oh, that's more of a battle to stay relevant type vibe, you know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say as far as skill, I don't think, like for ability and skill, I don't think you necessarily nosedive because that's an ability and skill you inherit. You learn, obtain, and retain.
Yeah.
And then the battle to stay relevant is a different story.
Dude, it's so funny because I realized that it had been over a year since I posted on the YouTube channel before the uned video. And then like somehow I still had some viewer retention. Like I still ended up getting like 50 views on the video, which isn't a lot. But when I have like 60 subscribers on YouTube and I get 50 views on a video, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Did you put it on TikTok? Did you advertise on TikTok?
No.
You should.
Yeah, that's true. My viewer retention on TikTok is absolute dog shit, though.
Well, whatever. I mean, that's just TikTok in general.
Yeah.
So that's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'll definitely throw something together and put it on there. But yeah, I don't know. As far as like creative ventures go, I think that me doing YouTube like on my own, like doing my own thing, you know, I'm conflicted because like I love doing YouTube. I love creating things and doing all that kind of stuff. I do battle back and forth between like, is it worth it? Like, is it worth having all of this stuff of mine just chilling on the internet forever? When I already have hundreds of hours of me saying random out of pocket shit on the internet, thanks to this wonderful show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm heavily debating just, you know, trying to post like once a week.
Yeah. Once a week is fine. Once a week, bi-weekly, monthly. I wouldn't set just set make a reasonable goal. Make that goal a little bit more flexible. That's what I found works. So if you want to upload weekly, stretch that to 2 weeks, bi-weekly, and then work your way to weekly. Yeah. I think that's the vibe. That's one of the things that's worked for me mostly. I think setting a goal immediately makes no sense. Whenever I was a lead editor not recently, when I was like the lead North editor or something like that. Thank you, Garage. I would set like, hey, well, let's set this deadline, and then to finish the project, right? To finish the edit. I have editor 1, editor 2, right? For part 1 and part 2 of the edit. We usually have 2 editors, split the project into 2. That makes life a lot easier, and also different varieties, different pacings, 2 different style editors. It's a lot of fun for a COD edit, right? Okay, this is January 1st. I want the project to be done by January 20th. That is a deadline, but I'm going to give you guys until the 27th.
Yeah.
So the 20th to 27th is that buffer window.
Right.
That buffer window is important.
Yeah, because the actual deadline is the 27th, but you're setting like a intermediate so that like, hey, this is when I would love to have this done, but you know, if we have to, we can spring it to like this is when it needs to be like done.
as an editor myself, like the problem with COD editors, right? Oh wow, what a fucking start to a conversation. The COD editor says problem with COD editors is, as a COD editor myself, we are freelance workers.
Right.
Even if we are under a team, we're under no contract. It's trust. Everything is trust. And that's the one of the problems with COD editing is because everything is by trust. And that trust is extremely loose. So if you're even if you're under a team, I still consider you a freelance editor because you're typically charging your freelance rate anyways.
Right.
Which would be $5 a clip, $10 a clip, whatever that may be, right? You are under no obligation to finish. Like some things I've learned, especially after working with my first freelance project with my ex video professor that I did recently. You're under contract. You sign a paper. This is the project I'm going to work on. This is my deadline. That's how it works in the world, Zach. Because there is no, all right, I'm going to pay you $500 to do this video. You'll do it, right? Yeah, I'll do it. Ghosts. That doesn't happen. That doesn't work.
Right.
That's not how the world works. Everything works via not by a, you got it? Not by a thumbs up, by a handshake.
Right.
Right? So it's that type of experience. By the way, your rubber bands are showing on your thing if you want to fix that. I don't know. Not that it matters too much. Now it's crooked, Zach. It's curved for her pleasure. Anyways, while he does that, you hear the sexy ASMR of the windscreen flailing around. That's what I've learned, and that's the thing that I really wanted to push when I became a lead editor for North, is this idea of organizational work. That's what I tried, but it didn't work out. Why? Because at that point, my foot was already out the door in editing. Right. So it just didn't work out. But I really wanted it to, but I just wasn't interested anymore. So I hope that I can see that be more of a thing in the future, but I don't know. Maybe I'll voice my opinion on some sort of editing related video or something like that. I don't know. But that's besides the point that I'm trying to make, which I forgot along the way, but I'm going to try and reel it back in where I already lost the point. So let's go back to I don't know. The story time.
Oh, yeah. So
Oh, that's right. Deadlines and stuff. Goals. Aspirations. Aspirins. That one's Zach. Ibuprofens.
Tylenols.
Give it a shot. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not your boss, Zach. You do whatever you want to do, right?
You're like, you must make
content, Zach.
Make content.
No, if you'd like to, I mean, I don't know if you felt like, how did you feel making the little, even just a little intro bit to that video?
Honestly, I probably enjoyed it way more than I should have.
Exactly.
Because there was something so nostalgic about like syncing my audio with my mic and my camera, like doing the SYNC sync. And then your audio's synced. If it wasn't already, you can use that to sync the audio.
Nowadays, I think you can do it automatically, but I mean, nothing beats a good old manual. Just kind of, you know what I mean?
Hit the peaks, look at the waveforms and everything like that. Yeah, like I've realized that that's how I've always done it ever since I started using, like external audio. Which is when I got the toner mic in like 2018, so it's something that I've been doing so like inconsistently for so long that it's like, the good old days.
Yes, bikini bottom.
Bikini bottom. The Gulagoon. Yeah. I really, really did love doing it. I think my apprehension is less of like me wanting to do it and more so like me being consistent with it. Cause like, I mean, this show is the most consistent thing I've ever done on the internet ever. And so,
well, it's because we set that mark, right?
Right.
Once a week. That's the mark we decided.
Yeah.
Before it was twice a week. That was death. And we changed it to once a week. Much better than like 2-3 month break, right? I think that setting that mark is good. That's why I started the stream schedule. I mean, it's kind of looser now, but I have to. I said, okay, I'm going to stream on these days. Whether I list out what I'm going to stream that day, I'm not sure. But I'm going to stream. Monday is my relaxed day. Usually people say it's Sunday. For me, I'd rather make it Monday because Mondays suck. Just in general, whether you're in school or work or you don't do shit, Mondays just suck. I don't know why. They just suck in general. For some reason, the weather is always shit on Monday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just bad. Monday is my chill day. I'll read manga and watch anime, right?
Yeah.
And do whatever. Tuesday is my school day. I already mentioned this. How is that going, Arthur? Not very great. Thank you, random viewer. Wednesday, it used to be my second school day. Now it's my stream day.
Giving yourself a break.
Yes, essentially. And I stream either midday or later in the day, so I have the rest, in betweens, just kind of chill. So it's kind of my chill / stream day. But I'll condense into stream day. So Monday is chill day. Tuesday is school day. 3 day. I said 2 and I want to say 3 and I made it 3, so I got confused. Monday is
chill day.
Chill day. See, I forgot. No, I was kidding. Monday is chill day. Tuesday is school day. 3 days stream. Fucking Wednesday. Wednesday is okay. Let's start it. Okay, one more time, Zach. Monday. Monday is chill day. Tuesday is school day. Wednesday is stream day. No, I'm just kidding. Thursday is school day again. So Tuesday and Thursday are my school days now. Friday is stream day. Saturday is stream day. Sunday is uned. Woo! Yep. Very simple. Very simple. Right? And that's just what I'm going to stick to and what I have stuck to. I've stuck to variations, but that's just kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm not being too specific. I know some people are very organized. They're going to make sure, okay, I'm going to stream this on that day. And I don't think that works for me.
Yeah.
But at least I have a general idea of what I'm going, what the bullet points of the day is going. No, sorry, not the bullet points, but the main objective of the day is going to be. And then the bullet points can follow. But I have the main objective, which is this day I'm going to do stream. This day I'm going to do school. What classes? I don't know, but just school. This day I'm going to do stream. What game? I don't know, but I'm going to stream. Keyboard? I don't know. I'm just going to stream. That's the vibe, right? Yeah. So I think what you should do, if you would like to, that's up to you, Zach, is say, okay, Wednesday / Sunday is uned. Those are slashed. No matter what. Those are slashed. Okay, cool. I don't know. Friday. Or maybe even, because we only do one of them, and Wednesday and Sunday are the days you don't work, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, Wednesday we shoot on it. Sunday, just take some sort of time. I don't know how long these videos take for you to record, and as I record videos, I know that a 10-minute video can take a whole damn day sometimes.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But let's just say Sunday at some point, at some sort of time interval. I don't know what it is, when it is, why it is. Sunday, just at some point.
Right.
Record. Yep. I don't know, just record. Okay, cool. Next week, Wednesday is slashed for uned. And then Sunday, edit. Okay, whether you finish the video or not, let's say you don't finish the video. The next week, Wednesday / for uned. Sunday, finish editing and upload. And we'll upload whenever. So now this is a 3-week process. First week is record. Second week, record / edit if you need to finish recording any extra bits or whatever. Whatever, I don't know. Or let's just make it easier. First week is record. Second week is edit. Third week is finish.
Right.
Something like that, right? That's just a suggestion. I don't know.
And I mean,
whatever works for you.
The nice thing too is that I can find little pieces of time even throughout the week to be able to do that kind of stuff.
But that's bad, Zach, because you'll be contingent on that. Nice word, okay. Arthur. Thank you, Arthur. You have to pick that day.
Honors English too.
Honors English too. You have to pick that day.
Yeah.
Has to be Sunday. Well, not has to be Sunday. Whatever day you pick, it has to be that day. For uned, I do everything on uned day. And then if I have to, I'll procrastinate it to the day before. But usually, I've tried to not... The most that'll ever happen is probably the thumbnail. But thumbnails are pretty easy. I can just do that whatever day. But in general, the main bulk of uned happens on uned, which is today, uned day. Right? So I've dedicated this to uned day. So you'd have to dedicate that. I mean, you may do other things, hang out or whatever, but at some point in that quote-unquote Sunday needs to be record/edit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm still kind of like trying to decide if that's something that I want to do.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you have a job, Zach. I don't have a job, Zach.
Yeah, that's true.
I go to school and I hate that, but I may not anymore. Haha. But in general,
Plot twist.
but in general, right? But then I also stream, so that's not my job, but that's what takes up a lot of my time.
Right.
So I would not compare that to what you do, but that's one of the things that eats up my time. So that's what I would relate that to.
Yeah.
So that's for you to decide. That's why I'm not saying I'm not going to decide that for you, because I don't know. So just whatever you would like to do. But I think setting aside that time. I as a procrastinator myself, right? You as well. And I believe in my procrastination because I believe I don't work hard unless I panic. That's not a good lifestyle, but it's worked really well.
Yeah.
So, but in general, I've found that that's the least amount of organization that I can do that works. Just have a main objective for the day. That's all.
Yeah. I find that I'm the most productive when I'm under high levels of stress.
Yes, of course.
And on the brink of a panic attack. Like that seems like peak productivity for me.
That's why I always work late in the night. Because I'm not a morning person, so morning is out.
Right.
During the day, I'd rather just chill or work on things I need to, like do daily things, I guess.
Right.
Like clean my fucking studio because it's always a mess, or watch some anime or whatever, read a manga or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then night hits, and night is when I'm like, all right, Discord call, homework, gaming, streaming, whatever it is. That is when I feel I'm the most productive because it is the end of the day and my mind tells me I need to finish the dog. It's been the end of the day. You haven't hit your objective for the day. I'm like, oh shit. So now that oh shit moment is the panic moment, not necessarily a panic attack, but the panic moment, which is why I've dedicated that 3 to 10 lifestyle, because around 11 to midnight is that, oh shit. Now, what's the downfall? If I have an assignment due that day, I'm fucked because I'm working on at midnight. Well, it's already late, so that's a downside. But I mean, that's why you have to work on. You figure these things out. The little details that's unique to us, we figure that out.
Yeah. I think it's really funny that you and I both kind of think about it in a super similar way. It's like if I'm not panicking, then my brain does not associate it. Yeah,
as a priority. The wavelengths are equalizing right now. We're on the same frequencies, Zach, the same gigahertz. Someone's dog just started shitting, Zach.
I'm sorry I made your dog shit itself.
This is from a video, by the way. This is not my words. This is, I believe in this, but it's one of those things, Zach, and YouTube, the idea of the internet, right? This is some weird fucking tangent, but the idea of that
segues are weird.
Normally, right? The reason why opinions fucking suck on the internet is because you can find people that agree with you, no matter how bad it is, no matter how bad the opinion is. You can find the person that agrees. You can find a community that agrees with you.
Right.
Flat earthers. No matter how stupid it is, you find that community. That's the joy of the internet. Right?
Right.
So, what's fun about that is that me as a night person and who lives in a family of morning people and is always ridiculed by my schedule and will be continued to be ridiculed by my schedule, is that nobody agrees with me. Who does agree with me? This random YouTuber, not random, he's actually pretty cool. I forget his name though, I apologize. But he's Korean, and he makes this kind of like, those like university videos type of vibe.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like productivity, what I do. But it's kind of a YouTube channel of just whatever he enjoys. Like he talks about photography and stuff, and he talks about his time in school, other fun bits. So it's kind of a fun channel of just like him just doing random videos for the fun of it. Some is tech, some is actual productivity stuff, some is shit post. It's fun. If I find the YouTube channel, I know what the YouTube channel is. I'll put it in the description. But it's awesome, and he makes great content. He puts a video out saying why I sleep from 3 a.m. or why I go to bed at 3 a.m. Zach, if I see that video, I'm going to click on it because I want to feel validated by me sleeping at 3 a.m. right?
I actually went to bed at 3 a.m. Also,
Exactly. Yep.
I'm sorry to
No, go ahead.
derail a little bit, but I put both of my I'm sitting crisscross applesauce in my chair, and it's just slowly rotating me away.
Yeah,
from
I
you.
realize that you've shifted a whole 45 degrees.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're not. Come on now.
There we go.
Then again, I always am at a 45 degree from my camera, but you're not. But just because of the anyways, but yeah, it's a great video, and obvious. But one of my point is that I saw the video, and as a person who sleeps at 3 a.m. and nobody agrees with me that I am okay with sleeping at 3 a.m. I saw this video and I was like, yes, this is what I needed, Zach. I need to feel validated about my sleep schedule, right?
I need external validation.
I need external validation. No, but it interests me because, oh, look at that. No matter what, no matter how stark your opinions are, you'll find something that supports it. And it's a good video because it wasn't just like it was exactly what I detailed. He writes the things he needs to do down, and then by the later part of the day, he panics. Like, I need to get this done. And that is where he's the most productive. He works from like 11 or 10, 11 to 3 a.m. or like 10, 11 p.m., right? That is, to 3 a.m. And then he goes to bed, wakes up at 10 a.m. Right? That's the spark notes. You should watch the video because it's really well produced too. I really enjoy those type of videos where it's kind of like this scripted type of, not like a, hey, what's good, guy? I've kind of grown away from that, but I mean, I do that as well, so it's whatever.
Yeah, and I appreciate when people bring different ideas with the perspective of like, hey, this is just kind of how I feel. You could do nothing with this information.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. And it's not like, this is how you can be the most productive you've ever been in your entire life with only 7 hours of sleep and a mild panic attack.
Yeah, you have to be this. You know what I hate, Zach? The YouTube voice. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I hate that so much. There's this, I'm not going to say who it is, but there's this one YouTuber. I've watched his videos because he's a reviewer. Okay.
I thought you were going to say Ali A.
No. Well, I mean, he has a YouTube voice as well. Well, there's different tones of YouTube voice. There's a YouTube voice that you're trying too hard, and there's a YouTube voice that you've experienced and adapted to your own. I think I have a YouTube voice. Whenever I do.
Do I have a YouTube voice?
I don't know. That's up to you to decide. Okay. Well, you know what the YouTube voice is when you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. You have this emphasis on certain videos, or in certain words that don't need that extra accent.
Right.
I'm going to use the term accent because that's the best way I can describe it. But in musical terms, it means accentuated.
Yeah.
Give it some oomph. What's up, guys? I am back with another. What the fuck? Who are you talking to? Are you? It's a person in the back. Why are you screaming? Okay. Anyways, there's this guy. I'm not shitting on him because he makes good videos, and I'm sure he's a great guy. I just hate his YouTube voice. It pisses me off, and it's gotten better. Because some of his reviews of products that I'm interested in are like 4 or 5 years ago,
right?
Or 4 years ago, and then it's a lot better now. But it still pisses me off because I hate it. But maybe that's just a pet peeve of mine. But I hate that YouTuber voice. I've enjoyed the more relaxed voice. The more like you're having a conversation with them type of voice. And you still, no matter what, you have to spark it up for YouTube, just in general. Like you give a little bit more oomph. You don't really talk like that in real life type of oomph.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, I like to think I talk the same way I do on videos, and streams as I do in real life. But I admit that I do have a little bit more flavor because I know I'm speaking to a microphone.
Yeah. I mean, I think the idea that you're talking into a microphone, you can hear your own voice in your head, which is very bizarre. For those of you who have never had like a microphone with monitors in, like whether it's headphones, in-ear monitors, anything like that, it's fucking weird.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to counter that, Zach. It's not weird. You know why?
Why?
Because if you take your headphones off, you're listening to yourself anyways.
Yeah, but instead of...
Have you ever tried talking like this, Zach?
Yes.
Like in real life. In real life, you're talking right now, and I don't know how I sound right now. I don't know how I can't hear myself, Zach. So I might sound like a fucking loser right now. I don't know. I can't hear myself. I sound so I can't hear anything. I can hear the reverberations in my fucking skull, Zach, but I can't hear anything because I'm blocking. I can't hear anything, Zach. Wow. Ah, yes, bikini bottom. You know what I mean, Zach? It's like a thing that you don't realize that you need until you do it, and then you think it's weird, but then you realize, oh wait, that's how I function in fucking real life.
Well, I think the idea that you sound a little bit different is the part that weirds everybody out, because like when you're talking just in real life, you know,
No, you're right. You sound different.
Yeah. What you hear is mostly just the reverberations inside of your skull. And
Right.
of course, I mean, I've been doing this for long enough to where it doesn't really bother me anymore with the headphones on or with them off. But like going from that's what you've heard for your entire life, it's like, it's a part of the reason why people don't like watching videos of them speaking.
Yeah, because you're like, I sound like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you sound different. Yeah, I agree. So that, I guess that's part of it, but it's also just like you get over it after like a week.
Yeah, but that first week is fucking weird.
It's a Band-Aid. Just rip it off. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, so when I went from the, what was it, the toner mic probably, because I never had any like direct monitoring, to the audio box that you gave me, which by the way, thanks for that. I still have it.
So the toner mic, that's because you just use the fan and power box, right?
Correct.
God, don't ever use those, by the way. Those are shit. And also they cost only a minute amount less than if you were to buy like a cheap $50-$40 interface of any kind. Yeah. Like the Behringer UM2 or Behringer Euphoria. That's a show.
Ufotable?
UM2. I use that for my other setup. Now it does with the thing that I mentioned before, but I think that's a grounding issue. But I hate that, by the way. But I feel like, but nobody talks about it, so maybe it's just me. I don't know. But anyways, nobody
am I going crazy?
I think I am going crazy. No, but that's a different thing. But that thing cost $50. I bought it on sale for like $40. I just saw it on Amazon. I was like, yeah, I'll fucking buy it. Why not? Why not just have a random interface that just kind of works? And I actually bought it for a video, but it ended up not really working out. And I think I'll go a different approach, but that's besides the point. So my point is, well, actually, you were speaking. My fault. But yeah, you had the Phantom Power Box. Don't use the Phantom Power Box.
Just because it's shit.
Just get an interface, and then you can hear yourself.
Yeah. So going from that initial like, you know, oh, okay, I recorded a couple videos. I've listened to myself talk probably way too much than I would like to admit, and then going from that to hearing what it's going to sound like, but hearing it in my head. You know, with big old cans on my ears, that definitely makes me feel a lot better about what the end product is going to sound like, and what just the idea of me seeing myself on camera, listening to me talk, and just hating every second of it. You know, it's something that, like most things over the course of time, it gets easier to deal with, and it gets easier to kind of be okay with those types of things. And that is like one of the things about content creation that nobody talks about, like the mental hurdle of looking at yourself and listening to yourself talk and going through the entire editing process and just being like, God, I'm so fucking sick of hearing myself talk.
But you know what that does is you do a classic thing that we all know and hate or love, but mostly hate, is rough draft, reading out loud, revising, and final draft. What does that sound like? That's right, an essay.
Yeah.
You make your first 5 videos, and you realize, God, I hate the way I sound, I hate the way I look, and you revise and you change that. You change your background, you change visually your background, what you wear. Maybe you do a little swoosh in your hair. Bars. That was pretty good. And then you change your tonal voice. Maybe I should sound like this at this point, or maybe I should say words like this, or maybe I should stop using in between words like of course or obviously or as you can see, because I hate those words. Did I talk about that yet, Zach?
No.
I hate those words. In between words, exact words that you do in essays that when said out loud nobody fucking says. So it sounds annoying. I'm going to say this. It's one of those things where you don't realize it until you mention it. I'm going to ruin it for you, Zach.
Fuck.
Tutorial video, Zach. When you watch a tutorial video, count how many times they say obviously and as you can see. You're going to hate yourself because
I hate you already because I know.
You know. See, you know. I hate that. communication and honors English 2 taught me this. No, it's not. Maybe not honors English 2, but me taking these classes, realize I hate these words. And if you do, Grammarly, which is not the sponsor of this episode, if you use Grammarly, they will tell you to stop using those words.
Right.
Because it makes no sense. Mm-hmm. In video essays, they don't use those words because they're stupid. When you say it out loud, they're stupid. And you'll hear it in tutorials because it's something like, it's not oftentimes they're not scripted. Oftentimes in tutorials, they might be scripted, but in general, it's just a guy who knows what he's doing, just sits down, and maybe he's done he's done a handful of YouTube videos before, so he's comfortable with speaking into a microphone or whatever, but he is not comfortable with script work and speaking out loud because nobody speaks out loud. It's not a thing people normally do. Well, I mean, we talk, but I mean speak.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, or instruct, if you will. So they will say words that they're used to saying, which is words that they put in their fucking papers to hit that 1,000 word threshold mark. Mm-hmm. Of course, as you can see, in conclusion, thus, therefore. Well, thus and therefore, okay. But if you these words, Zach, that don't make any fucking sense in any speaking context.
Right.
I hate those words. So now, everybody, when you watch a tutorial, Photoshop tutorial, a YouTube tutorial, After Effects tutorial, photography tutorial, or even review, any video, but generally some sort of video of showcasement. Mm-hmm. Showcasement? Did I make that word up?
Showcasing.
Showcasing. I'm going to use showcasement. Fuck you, Zach. Listen to obviously and as you can see. Do you know why these words suck?
Because they're not very fucking descriptive at all.
Yes, but it's because it implies to the audience that they should know. Obviously, this is what happens. As you can see, this is what happens.
Like, yeah, dude, I can use my fucking eyeballs and I can see.
Well, that also, that's for the as you can see. Obviously implies that you should know this already. What if I don't? I'm in a tutorial, Zach. I don't know this.
Yeah.
Obviously, this happens. I don't know that. And I know it sounds like I'm overthinking it, but I'm not saying when I hear obviously my feelings get hurt. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm saying is that it's not needed and it implies a negative undertone that you don't realize and you subconsciously feel that.
Yeah.
So think about that. These words.
One of my favorite ways that I've seen people work around that is as opposed to as you can see. I love when people like, especially for like Premiere Pro, Photoshop, Lightroom, for all of the like software tutorials, they say if you look in the top left corner, you'll see this little button, and this is the button that we want. So we're gonna click on this, and then blah 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 blah. Like it turns into like, look over here. This is what you're looking for. Instead of like, if you...
Boy, soy Dora,
Can you show me the project file? But the ways that they find to work around just that...
As you can see.
Yeah. And it feels like it's like passive aggressive almost.
Mm-hmm. It is. And it's something that you won't notice until you make more videos and you realize. And of course, you may get comment feedback on that. These kind of constructive, hopefully constructive and not necessarily negative, but it's whatever. Speaking of comments, negative comments, this episode is going everywhere, Zach. I apologize. Oh, and I remember I had a point I wanted to make in the beginning of why I'm angry, Zach. This is not why, but I'm also angry about this. Zach, why are people so mean?
Why are they?
Why are everybody so mean, Jack? No.
Why do they like to hurt my feelings?
No. Okay, I'm gonna take my phone. So there's this keyboard, Zach. Yes, Anuki gets to talk about keyboards. So there's this video on a keyboard called the Cosplay. No, sorry. Well, this is part of it. But there's a keyboard called the Aurora 65. And there's a video done by, or a channel reviewed this keyboard, and it's called Near Lucid. I love Near Lucid, probably my favorite keyboard YouTuber because I enjoy his videography a lot, and his script work, and he sounds really cool. And I made a comment. It's a very basic comment. Well, I realize the mistakes of it, but it shouldn't have gone this direction. So I just say this keyboard comes with these things. These words aren't going to make sense to you, but I'll explain it very briefly in a way that is important for context. So this keyboard comes with stabilizers in the keyboard. For those who don't know, stabilizers are this wire and thingamajig, right? There you go. Good word, Arthur. That makes so long boy keys like spacebar and backspace, the big boy keys, don't fucking teeter-totter, I've
had that happen.
Yes, they stabilize them, right?
Yeah.
And it comes normally cheap keyboards. They'll come with OEM type of stabilizers, like factory stabilizers, or cherry stabilizers, cherry clip-in, cherry screw-ins. They're kind of cheap, but you buy them in bulk and you put them in your keyboard, and it's good, right? It's whatever. I don't have a problem with it necessarily, and I'll come back to that. The keyboard, this Aurora 65, comes with a Duroc V2 stabilizers, and essentially what that just means is that it's just a different stabilizer. It for better or worse is can be subjective. I think it's better just because I've used them before, and I personally think they're better. Personally, me, right?
In my opinion.
In my opinion, right. And I thought that was cool, right? Okay. So I commented on it. I said, I think it's cool that it comes with Duroc V2 stabilizers instead of cheap cherry clip-ins. And then I go on to mention they're pre-lubed and they're built in, and I don't like that. So they should come separate so you can do it yourself. Anyways, right. But the comment is that I enjoy the fact that they're using Duroc V2's stabilizers instead of cheap cherry clip-ins. That's basically the wording, right? Let me pull it up. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Oh man, this is a great one. Except cheap cherries. Here's a comment from a guy. Except cheap cherries clip-ins are good. Lol. Don't know what you're on about. And then this guy. Cherry clip-ins are better than Duroc in my opinion. This feels like the opinion of someone who has never tried cherry clip-ins. And then here's this guy. Nah, because even the cherry plate mounts are good. Nah, even the cherry plate mounts are good. Besides, he has clip-ins which are PCB mount. So he said they mistyped. Ironic because he mistyped. I'd say I can't even tell what he's trying to say. I think they mistyped that in such a comment, and that's even worse. Thank you for saying they, by the way, not assuming my gender. I don't care about that. Zach, why are they so angry?
Why are they so mean?
No, what's funny, Zach, is that I don't feel that. I think cherry clip-ins are fine. They're a good way to keep board costs down. This is a cheap board too. It's under $200. It sounds like it's really expensive, but for a aluminum case with with good features and good build quality and good sound for under $200, that's pretty good for budget, right? Like $190. I think if they went with cherry clip-ins, they probably could have maybe knocked it down to like $180, and I think that would have been a great board, right?
Right.
I have no problem with that. I admit that the wording that I used, I like that it comes with Durocs, not cheap cherry clip-ins. I admit that wording makes it sound like that I'm taking that direction. But why did they get so offended? Like, why are they so mad? They could have just said, I like cherry clip-ins. I think they're pretty cool. That's neat, dude. Good for you. Why did they have to get us so offended that I just think that cherry clip-ins are cheap?
Because they are.
They are cheap. I didn't say they're bad. I just say they're cheap, and I like that they're using something else because nobody else uses something else. I just like that. I like that they're using a different option. Why are they so? It's like I slandered their family, Zach.
That.
What happened? What did I say something wrong?
Did you look at them in the wrong tone of voice? It turns into that situation of like, oh yeah, everyone is free to express their opinions unless I don't agree with their opinion, then it's garbage. It's that idea of like I'm right and you're wrong about super subjective shit. And that's like,
well, I think it's just you take the basis that no matter what they say, first, it's most likely negative.
Yeah.
I think that's the basis that they take. And then second, maybe it's not, but that second never happens because you stop at the first mark. Whatever you read, some people, it's just first negative tone. And usually it works. Ugh. I like that they're using Durocs, not these cheap cherry clip-ins. That's probably what they heard me say.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a sure, that's a problem with like just text in general, because there's no way to indicate tonal, like unless you. No, there is no way. The only way to do sarcasm is you do roller coaster letters, right? But
Did you just say roller coaster letters?
yeah, roller coaster letters, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase.
Oh, I never even thought about that as a thing, honestly.
Yeah, my friend Sora, he did mention that is the first time in the history of internet text, or just text form in general, that sarcasm can be visually displayed and actually used in a tone to read. And it's a roller coaster text. You know the SpongeBob chicken meme?
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's what it is. That's the first time in history.
For a SpongeBob meme?
Yeah. I mean, it existed, but that was the first time in history where it became like, oh, this is how we use sarcasm in text. Anyways, I understand that. But the problem where that misconception lies is that it's a 50-50. You choose whether to read it positively or negatively. There's no answer, but it's just which way you choose. Unfortunately, most people pick negative. Why? I don't know. Maybe just, lighten up a little bit. I don't know, brighten up.
I don't know, dude. Get some fucking ice cream.
Because you can read it in both ways.
Right.
You can turn any sentence positive or negative. God, I love ice cream. God, I love ice cream.
God, I love ice cream.
But that would be positive. You see, and that is what me as a script writer tends to kind of, I like to enjoy these things. Anyways, so that's just a thing that I've found that kind of angered me, and I apologize for that. So you want to know another thing that angers me, Zach?
What?
Crunchyroll has gone too far, Zach.
What have they done?
They have done the Forsaken.
What did they do?
So there's this, I need to give some context, okay? So there's this anime this season called Bocchi the Rock, which, by the way, is the best anime of the season. Is the best anime of this season right now.
Oh.
It's a music anime. It's 4 cute girls starting a band, and their journeys along the way.
Wow.
Sound familiar? Sounds like K-On! I know. And this is my K-On! Withdrawal, like feeding in finally something good, and it's good, Zach. I mean it when I say it's the best anime. Spy Family, Chainsaw Man, fucking Chainsaw Man. Bocchi the Rock. And you guys should watch it because it's actually really good. Anyways, it's awesome. And I was going to watch it yesterday, right? And what I do, I take a lot of screenshots, Zach. These days I don't post a lot of anime tweets and stuff. These days it's more kind of tone. I'll do it every now and then, right? But, I'll take a screenshot here and there, some fun frames, cute frames, good icons, maybe for profile pics or something like that. Or I want to record a little clip or something that I found cool, right? Zach, they took that away.
What?
If you take a screenshot on mobile, it's blacked out.
No.
Yeah.
They're pulling a fucking Netflix.
Yep, they did a Netflix, Zach. They did it.
Dude.
Yeah. That is the saddest thing. You see, for all this time. So what happened was, right? I started my episode, as I do, right? As I do. Happy Anuki, starting his cute girls doing cute things anime. And these cute girls playing music and drums and guitar and stuff, and it's fun and it's awesome, and the music is really good. You should watch it. And I go and take a screenshot and it's black. Oh, why is it black? That's odd. Maybe I did something. So Crunchyroll did do this update recently, like a whole, like, kind of not an overhaul, but they changed like some functionality changes with the player and stuff. And it's visibly, it's different, right? Yeah, like it's actually different options and such like that. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like to watch the video or watch some episode, and I take a screenshot and it's black. Like, well, why is it black? That's odd. I go and restart. I shut down Crunchyroll or close Crunchyroll where you open it up. It's on my phone, by the way. And it's black again. Like, why is it black? They did it, Zach. They enabled this thing called DHCP, which is something that I can't remember what it's called, but it's something that's plagued. It's plagued recording since the Stone Age, Zach. It's a copyright protection thing. Yeah. And to my understanding, Apple actually has this as a thing already, and Android might as well. And their Apple Media Player, because it's their codec for whatever Apple or Android, they use some sort of formatting codecs, so that way it's usually a generic viewing experience, right?
Yeah.
across the board, generally, right? And to my understanding, shout out to the guy who brought it up when I tweeted out and was very angry about it. Apple already had this. It was just kind of up, to my understanding, it's up to the app to go through with it and to comply with it, rather. But up to this point, Funimation never did, or sorry, maybe Funimation did, but Crunchyroll never did it until yesterday.
Fuckers,
those damn fuckers. Now then, the conversation arises. This already exists, and it exists for a reason, and it's so people don't record whole fucking videos and, torrent them or whatever, right?
Right.
This is a thing. So people aren't sailing the seven seas as pirates. Yo ahoy. Gonna watch me some anime.
Ohio.
I know, I understand that. But now I'm going to rebuttal it because I think it's silly. Zach, how in the world did anime get popular here in the West? Remember this conversation, Zach?
Yes, it was sketchy, janky, torrented, weird bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And now here we are. It's 2022, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Demon Slayer
is more or less an anime, or is more or less an American product.
I wear a Demon Slayer shirt, and people give like,
and you bought it here in America.
In a fucking oh god, what was it?
Hot Topic, right?
Hot Topic, yeah,
like that. Yeah.
Some shit. I don't know.
Zach, I could probably buy a Demon Slayer shirt in Fred Meyer's. Zach, Demon Slayer is an American product now.
That's ours. We own it now.
Made in Japan, but American. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of things.
Yeah, made in China, but American product. iPhones, smartphones. So this thing exists. Like it exists. This I don't know if it's specifically that, but that's what the standard is. So I assume that's what it is. I hadn't looked it up because you can't find it anywhere because nobody's complaining about it. Why am I'm the only one complaining about it? Because it already existed in the browser. I think we've encountered this whenever we tried a Discord call and we had to disable hardware acceleration on Chrome. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It already existed. And that was the bypass. There is no bypass in the mobile app.
Fuckers.
Yeah, those fuckers. Zach,
you just wanted to take cute.
I just wanted to take screenshots of cute two-dimensional girls, Zach. Where's the harm? Zach, this is. I'm so upset, Zach. I'm sorry. I've reached an angry tone in my voice. Zach, can you tell?
Yes.
Now you can tell. What is the number one way that we've advertised freely anime here in the West? It's people talking about it, taking screenshots and uploading clips to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we've been free advertised shows, specific shows, content, anime in general. Some shows I've found just because I saw a funny clip on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to watch this. And then I go and watch it on Crunchyroll that I pay for. And then I take my screenshots and then I tweet it out and let people know, you guys, you should watch this anime because it's cool, it's cute, it's hype, whatever it is. And I tweet screenshots as examples. My work cited.
Yeah.
I can't just say Boshi the Rock is cool and not show a damn screenshot of at least a cool frame. Or a funny clip. Am I peeking?
Yes.
Good. Okay, sorry. Go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Parasite is cool. I'm not going to show you why it's cool. It's just cool. Trust me.
It is cool. You should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that's really frustrating is that I can see both sides of it, though. Like, I can understand the idea that they want to limit the amount of people who are exploiting something
yes.
to make it so that you can access it elsewhere. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I get it. And like, I know that Crunchyroll is just trying to make sure that, other people aren't stealing other people's artwork or like, trying to do all that kind of shit, but it's screenshots.
Yeah, we don't know that. There has been no, to my understanding, and I've looked, maybe I'm not looking right. I mean, it's fair. Maybe I just haven't found this article that exists, but I have not found any like explicit, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Claim, I guess, or article like from Crunchyroll themselves discussing this
Right.
at all. I haven't found it. So what I think you're right. What it is the problem I have is that they haven't done it up until now. That's my problem. If they would have done it, they would have done it way earlier. So now what I'm understanding is it's probably legal pressure. Crunchyroll is a lot bigger now than it once was. They absorbed Funimation, literally, you know? And they have more connections in Japanese space and you know, things in that, you know, Crunchyroll is a lot bigger than it was literally a year ago.
Right.
So I think all that pressure, that legal pressure finally just bursted. And now they got halted. They're like, okay, if you're gonna some Japanese guy who's super uptight and probably wears a business suit and probably beats his wife, he comes and he goes, Crunchyroll, you have to stop. You have to enable DHCP. Otherwise, no anime. Period. That's probably what happened. And Crunchyroll had to make that decision. Well, we got to do it. It has to be legal pressure because they've always been given that option.
Yeah.
They had the option for so long to do it, but they just haven't done it until now.
Yeah. You know, it's so hard because, like I said, there are two sides of it and you can justify both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, what we're basing our opinion off of is how it's affecting like you or me or whoever, you know, like on the consumer side of things, it can have a different outcome as opposed to on the business side of things. Because I mean, you know, if that's the only way that they would be able to have certain shows on their platform and everything like that, I feel like that's a justifiable thing. But at the same time, as far as free publicity goes, as far as being able to advertise something in a indirect way, and the, you know, Twitter especially, I say, you know, a lot. I just realized that.
It's one of the words. I do that too. It's okay. I do that as well. So don't worry.
One of the most popular ways to advertise anime is through just like word of mouth, through other people's recommendations and all of those types of things. And the way that they most likely do that is the way that you do it with screenshots. And now you can't do that. And now you're going to be that nerd who takes a picture of their iPad or like something stupid
Someone
like
said
that.
that exact same. Well, I'm time to take a picture of my iPad.
Or just do it on your computer. Like,
but I don't watch anime on my computer. That's the problem. I don't like doing it.
fair enough.
And that's the problem. Because, yeah, that is the bypass. The bypass is to go back on your computer and disable hardware acceleration. And that's the bypass.
Right.
So that's the issue I have. So, what? But, okay, I know you want to end it. Thank you. But I'm not done yet. So pause it, Zach. Fuck you, Zach. I'm not done yet, Zach.
Okay, fine.
Because I wanted to bring this up earlier, but we're having such a good conversation that I couldn't do it. But we'll get there. Don't worry. There's a shut up, Zach. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't do it, Zach. So it's not even just that, the advertising thing, right?
Yeah.
Advertising. Advertising. It's not just that, Zach. It's screenshotting and recording little clips to share with others is the most fundamental thing. Like, it's the most fundamental enjoyment of watching anime. Specifically. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't watch a whole lot of TV shows these days, like of people that aren't animated in cute Japanese cartoon ways. But in general,
relatable.
But do you see people people talk about things like, you know, popular shows and such, right? But I feel like it's a little different culture than watching anime. And watching anime, I feel like taking screenshots or video clips and tweeting them or putting them on TikTok or whatever is like a really fundamental enjoyment in watching anime specifically.
It also comes up in a lot of different movies and a lot of different shows, like especially on TikTok. There is a ton of entire accounts that are just people making clips with like Subway Surfer,
Right.
or some shit, you know, like that was like their way of kind of combating the copyright part of it. But there's still so much traffic in that regard outside of anime, and so it really sucks when, you know, the weeaboo culture of taking screenshots and doing little video clips that are, you know, not intended on doing anything outside of just positive publicity and things like that. It really sucks that got taken away.
The one, excuse me, this game called Blue Archive. I may have mentioned it, but it's the gacha that I play right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it puts a lot of money into advertisement and stuff, you know, as you should, right? As a high octane, relatively, you know, popular game.
One might.
You know, as one might, right? As one does. Then, but it's but there's not as much as you'd think. Most of it is more just like direct publicity. It's not really reaching out to an audience. A lot of the advertisements, at least from what I've seen, is advertisements that the target audience is people who already played Blue Archive.
Right.
So like what's to come, or what characters to look forward to, or events or stories. So you already have to be a part of Blue Archive, and that's what I've noticed that their publicity ends up going towards, rather than reaching out to different, like trying to pull you into Blue Archive. Why is that? Because they've openly allowed people to, you know, their outward advertisement is the best outward advertisements is let artists do fan art and fan, you know, manga or whatever, whether that be kind of spicy or not, wink wink, or let people take screenshots and videos and everything and display and let it out, you know, obviously to an extent, like I'm not,
right.
You know, but in general, go ahead, let the community have a way with our thing and let them spread it out. And it has been successful ever since. They've made billions of dollars.
It's really interesting how a different approach can end up having such a drastically different outcome. That's a great example of that. You know, you're letting other people do the advertisement for you, saving you a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Like a ridiculous amount of money.
You can spend a lot of time like that, because working on advertising to an audience that isn't your audience is very difficult, Zach.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. That requires time. That requires meetings. That requires, you know, and I'm sure they do it to an extent still, but in general, that it's basically a whole, like essentially a whole marketing team.
Yeah.
Would be dedicated to that. So that's time and money.
And money and time.
Money and time and people, which is time and money. Or they can just let the community do that because they'll do it for free. And then we can focus more on making cute girls and good story.
Yeah, I mean, if you make a product that's good, then it should be able to advertise itself, right? Like if you make a game that is really, really good, you know, you're not going to need to spend a shit ton of money on convincing people to get this game, to buy this game, to download it, to, you know, interact with it. Like if it's a good enough product, it will sell itself. And that's definitely a really good example of it selling itself. And so the money that they saved from not having to advertise or anything like that, they can take that money and put it into a product that they are super proud of. And then everyone benefits.
Yes.
Everyone's happy. And yeah.
I just want my screenshots, Zach.
I know.
I want my screenshots. I don't even take. Well, that's a lie. I do take a fair amount, but I don't take as much as I used to because I don't post it as much. Like I used to just like screenshot, and at some point, all those screenshots would be tweeted. But every now and then, there's a funny frame or there's a cute moment, and I want to take a screenshot or I want to record it really quick. Is that so much to ask for, Zach?
No.
That's it. But you know what it is, Zach? It's one rotten apple will spoil the bunch. You know, that's all it is. You can play it, Zach. We're done here. Go ahead. I don't know. Is there a solution, Zach? I don't know what the solution is, but hopefully the solution is something that Well, you know what the solution is, Zach?
What is it?
The solution is the dumbest solution, and a solution that always works, and it's community outreach. So what needs to happen is that some high octane, type of character, like a anime YouTuber of some sort, whether they're affiliated with Crunchyroll or have a big following in general, needs to say something.
Right.
Because me saying something isn't gonna do shit, Zach. We need that pedestal, and it's unfortunate that I have to say that because that's not how it should be, but we need that pedestal. Someone high octane needs to talk about it. Screenshotting and recording on mobile should be able to so do it. So hopefully we can find a fix. I don't want to be malicious about it because that's not the way to go about it. We should handshake and find agreement. That is all. And that is all for this episode. Thank you. Links in the description, as I've already mentioned. I'll try and if I remember, I will link that one YouTuber that I mentioned about the whole 3 a.m. sleeping thing. Validating me and my opinions. I love that. Love that for me. And
love that for you.
You find Zach. You find me. Coffee and Patreon if it's ready. You guys know the deal. Come on now. Let's see. This episode. I'll bring you to I don't know. Let's say. Oh geez. Oh, you know what? I mean, I guess we'll bring it to the Cameron episode because we did talk about anime towards the end. So if you enjoy us talking about anime, watch the Cameron episode, which would have been last episode. That was a lot of fun. We just talked about like 2D girls and stuff. That's great. What about this one, Zach? What should we watch for this one?
I vote the Bo Burnham episode.
The Bo Burnham episode. Sure. All right. Cameron episode, Bo Burnham episode. Both 2 great episodes. And that'll be all. So thank you. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.